Welcome back to the second in a series of training videos for Uvision 3D Landscape Creator. Now let's go back to the back of the house, and we can do that by moving over and swinging around, and we get over to the back of our house and look at putting in a patio here. So why don't we go back over to plan view again, and we're going to have to put in our patio right here. Again, we use our patio tool, and we can begin to just draw, and we can put in 45s, of course, and we can build our complete patio like so. Again, the default products come in with the quartz stone and the 𝐦𝐨𝐸𝐸. You can take a look at that in perspective, and we can leave the pavers. And why don't we put a nice winding walkway in from the front to the back. Now, in order to do that, I would go back to plan view, and I would make my way over to the landscape tool, use path, and then to make this as precise as possible, you can zoom in, and automatically over here you can see we're at 4 feet wide, and we'll keep that as a 4 foot wide walk. And we want to have it rounded, and here we have the option of going straight or rounded. So we're going to leave it at rounded, and we're going to turn our snap off, because with curves that's always a bit of a nuisance. So here we go. Just start making our way over to the backyard. We'll join up with that side door a little while later. And if you have to, push down on the wheel in the center of your mouse, and the hand will come up and you'll be able to slide over the picture. And once we get to there, we're ready to right click and finish her up. Now see, we have a winding walkway of copthorn with a double row of quartz stone around H. Now if you notice here, if there's some issues with the points, we can highlight them. We can delete points if we want. We can highlight points and straighten the lines out. We can delete some more here and highlight again and push the straighten button here, and then we can drag that up, make that all nice and even. We can actually widen this out if we wanted to flare things out. We can flare it out on both sides, and then we have a nice flare to the end of the walkway. Now all these points here are adjustable, so that if you want to smooth out some of the walkway, you can do that here, and then just click Edit Points before you go on to do anything else. We want to match this walkway a little bit more to our job that we've got on the go here. So let's do some nice rounding here, and we're going to make the pathway into some 𝐦𝐸𝐸𝐸 here. So material, open that up, get down to our 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, and notice how that follows the walkway. Now this might not be practical for 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. It is for copthorn, but not for 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. So we can actually change that in our material direction button here. We can edit direction, or we can turn that off, and now we've got a normal our normal pattern in between the border. Now if we want to match this this quartz stone, we can do that too. Go to border, and we'll just put in our copthorn around the edge as a nice soldier. The only thing what we want to do, again, it shows us 10 inches here, is bring that width down and control that. In a lot of ways, doing a drawing like this should be done in the same manner that you would actually constructing the project on site. You wouldn't actually build the walkway and patio or a driveway here first. You would build your steps up to the front door. As you can see, we have some elevation differential between the door and the ground, and we need to put in a couple of steps. The easiest place to work on that is on the plan view. I'm going to show you something kind of neat little tool. This little button down here called Edit Border. You could go to any border and add or remove it at will just by clicking it on and clicking it off. So that can come in quite handy. Okay, we're going to have to build two 4-foot steps here. So we're going to have to reduce our walkway drawing in here. So go over to Options, Edit Points, and then grab one of the corner handles, and let's pull that back a total of 8 feet that way, and we'll go over to 8 feet this way. And then we click off Edit Points. We can go back to Perspective, and you can see I've kind of cleared the area ready for some steps. Going back to Plan View, build steps with, ideally, you can use the patio stair tool, but I find that uses the same material for the tread as the riser. If you use the retaining wall tool, you can create a nice looking custom step. So let's click on retaining wall, and we're going to put our first wall in here. Now if you notice now it's going straight. If I were to just go over here and turn it on like that, you'd get that bowed effect. So if you were building a curved retaining wall, you'd use that Bezier button. Otherwise, this is your straight line button. So we're going to do our first drawing like that. Then we got our first step into place. That's one. Now if you notice, you can tell right away that we're a little too high for the door. But let's not concern ourselves with that right now. Let's go back to Plan View, and we're going to need another step in front of this. There's two ways to do this. One is just draw another step, or you could use Control-C, Control-V, your copy and paste commands, and put in another step. So bang, you're into perspective. Now you can actually begin to play with the height. So you have this wall selected here. You can go to your wall material options, and gives you your height here, and we can start reducing our height down. Don't worry about that border disappearing, and that won't hurt anything. And once you're down to approximately 8 inches or so, you've got your first step. Now that's 8 inches from the embedment here, so really you want to be at 10 inches for an 8-inch step. So that takes you to an 8-inch step there. Then your second wall, you can make a similar adjustment to that just by lowering that. And we've got just about at the right height there, I believe. Now notice how our accent row is still showing here. Just simply go to Accent Row and Row Offset, and you can just bury that, or you can actually disable it right here. That's actually the best way to do it. So now you've got two steps up to the front door, but you've got some fill to put in there and the pavers to lay in there. So now we're going to draw the inserts for those. So go back to Plan View. It's the best way to do it, and go over to your Patio tool. And now I've still got the snap on, and now the snap is not necessarily going to take us to the right measurements. So I will take off the snap tool and begin to draw right here. If you hold the Shift key down, you'll be able to draw straight lines that are perpendicular, and we'll go right into the dotted line there on the house and right back up. And we're a little bit crooked here, but we can easily edit that with our edit points tool. See that? You can just bring that into a bit of straightness. Perfect. So now we've got that one filled. My recommendation is, because it's the same size, is to do a Control-C, Control-V, and paste another one into the next one below. Now if you go into perspective, you'll notice that they're sitting way down at the bottom. Easy way to bring that up, of course, is with your elevation. You can just bring that up, and you can check to make sure you're aligning with the coping. There. And then we do the same for that one. We do the elevation, we bring it right up. Oh, a little too high. Down. With the border, we can decide that this is maybe a little too busy for the overall look and feel. So we can actually we can disable the border on this, or we can make it the same material that's in the center area. So, but I think we're going to use our Edit Border tool and actually remove some borders here. Notice we could do just the horseshoe framing if that's what we want, and that actually might look nice for this. So why don't we continue to do that. Click off Edit Border, go over to the next panel, Edit Border, remove, and now we need to put in some copthorn in these borders. We'll select this copthorn, and notice how you get a little bit extra here. That's because copthorn's 8 inches long, and what you want to do is reduce that to 8 inches. And then we do the same for the top one. So we'll go there, and we'll change. Now if you notice, there's a whole bunch of copthorn patterns here. We've got a basket weave, a herringbone, a running bond, and then a stacked bond, which is the one you use for soldier courses. And it says soldier course right down in here. So we'll click on that. Again, we've got our 10 inches to adjust to 8 inches. And now we've got our nice looking step that kind of matches the rest of our project.